What do I think about the hectic, orchestrated, intense vilification campaign now afoot about Rahul Gandhi? Welcome, Vanakkam, Swagatham. An old student of St. Stephen's College has brought to my notice the literature or part of the literature that's now in circulation, a wide circulation, I'm told, aimed at vilifying, defaming, embarrassing Rahul Gandhi, requesting me to share with him my view of the matter. Obviously, he has some value for what I say. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken the trouble to bring this to my notice. On consideration, it became clear to me that rather than engage the old student of the college in question in private conversation, I will deal with this part of the material presented to me through a video to be shared with all who might be interested, because this particular literature poses or raises certain issues of common or general significance. And in order to be absolutely factual, in order to ensure that I don't hide any relevant information from anyone, in order to be partial towards or protective of Rahul Gandhi, I think in all fairness I should read out the material brought to my notice and then offer my comments. Now, this material is apparently produced by Salauddin Shoaib Chowdhury. I don't know him personally. So he says, here is some uncomfortable information for you. That's how it starts. Here is some uncomfortable information for you. That's very interesting, because obviously he is very, very excited that he has been able to unearth something very uncomfortable to Rahul Gandhi. That's perfectly all right. That's up to him. He has the freedom to do so. And I have nothing in particular to say on that issue. Maybe if I feel like, I'll offer some comments on that as well. Now let me read the text. As in 1989 is the year in which Rahul Gandhi was admitted to St. Stephen's College. I very clearly remember that year. In 1989, you were not eligible for admission at St. Stephen's College in New Delhi due to extremely poor marks. Government had to declare you as a shooting champion that ensured your admission under sports quota. This is true. Rahul Gandhi was admitted against the sports quota. The college authorities were forced to get you admitted. I can't remember any force being exerted. Certainly, the college administration is in a position to resist any force exerted. As the principal of the college for 9 years, I resisted every force that was exerted on me. So, to say that the college authorities were forced to admit, I think is factually not correct. Anyway, it doesn't matter, let it pass. The college authorities were forced to get you admitted, though we do not know how and when you became shooting champion. Following this, Hyderabad-based News Time published a report titled "Rahul Shoots His Way into Elite College." I am not aware of this particular article. It may have come. The fact that I do not know doesn't mean that it does not or did not exist. On July 6, 1989, the Statesman published a breaking story stating your marks in All India Senior Secondary School examinations were 10 to 20% below the cutoff point of the course in BA History Honours. This could well be right, because if he had the desired cutoff marks, he would not have been, there would have been no need to consider him in the sports quota. But I've seen instances in which students who would have otherwise made the cut still prefer to be in the sports quota for various practical reasons. I don't want to get into that. So one doesn't necessarily follow from the other. Dr. V. Arya, responsible for admissions at St. Stephen's College, it's true, Dr. V. Arya was the tutor for admissions in 1989, said This is Dr. Arya's version. The Prime Minister's son was admitted in the sports category after an interview because he won a gold medal in the National Shooting Championship. If Dr. Arya said that, he would have said that on the basis of some documentary evidence. I don't think Dr. Arya would have said something, inventing something that did not actually exist. Madanlal Khurana, president of the Delhi unit of the Bharatiya Janata Party, alleged that you were admitted on fake certificates issued by a senior police official. Now, if that was the case, why was action not taken against the police officer who issued a fake certificate? Certainly, it is serious misconduct on the part of a police officer to issue such certificates because, as anyone would know, a police officer is simply not competent to issue a certificate of that kind. Shooting certificate has to be issued by a competent authority under the Shooting Federation of India. A police officer, even the police commissioner of Delhi cannot issue a certificate saying that so and so has a gold medal in national shooting. Now, this I really can't figure out the factual foundation for this. Anyway, let it be. Khurana also said that your application was rejected earlier by Hindu College and alleged that you never participated in national or state level championship as required by the university. Now, the fact of the matter is that both Rahul Gandhi and his sister, younger sister Priyanka, were under very serious security risk at that time. And as many of you would know, they did not have the privilege, unlike many children of their age group, to study formally in schools because of the security problem. They had to be homeschooled and then they had to write the 12th examination. So they had to pay a price for belonging to a particular family, and interestingly, they still continue to pay a price for it. Okay, never participated in a national or state level competition as required by the university. Delhi University court member Vijay Goyal threatened to take St. Stephen's College officials to court for irregularity in admitting you. Now, if Vijay Goyal, I happen to know him reasonably well, if Vijay Goyal were really convinced that the matter was actionable, why didn't he initiate action? Because you know, St. Stephen's College admission is so hotly contested. All irregularities are immediately taken to court and the matter is settled in court. If Vijay Goyal, he is not someone who will pussyfoot issues. If Vijay Goyal thought that there was an actionable issue here, he would, I believe, he would certainly have initiated appropriate action. And the writer of this post has to explain why Vijay Goyal did not choose to do so. The Statesman report also said, for security reasons, Gandhi's children, daughter Priyanka and son Rahul, have been studying at home since 1984. That's very true. That's factually true. They took examinations through Jesus and Mary Convent School run by religious Jesus and Mary sisters. That is true, though of course the matter is put in an awkward manner. Security reasons will also prevent them from attending college regularly. That's also very true. You have to be in that kind of predicament to know what it means to risk your life in order to attend schools and colleges. The university has strict rules for attendance at the undergraduate level, and there has been no instance of any students being allowed to stay at home and give his examination. Now, the writer of this text confuses college with school. It is true that the college, a university has strict rules, but those rules obviously do not apply to students at the school levels. They are governed by a separate set of rules. And it is certainly true that there are rules prescribing the minimum percentage of attendance required for a student to be eligible to write the examinations, but that's not the issue which is being discussed. So there is a mix-up of two categories. The Prime Minister's son can be exempted from attending classes only through a discretionary power of the University Vice Chancellor or a resolution in the Academic Council. That is true. There is no question about it. You, Rahul Vinci, he is not Rahul Gandhi, he is only Rahul Vinci, obtained, I don't know by what Indian custom, man is referred to not by the surname of his father, but by some distant person in a faraway place. You, Rahul, when you obtained 45.9% marks in your first year at St. Stephen's College. I think this is correct, but the point is, what the person who writes this does not mention is that many students who come with extremely flattering grades at the 12th standard perform poorly in the first year of college exam. Those who come with 98%, they suddenly drop to 60-65%. That is because marks awarded at the school levels are highly inflated. In fact, marks have become meaningless. I have published several articles on the subject. So I am very confident that there is no necessary correlation between marks secured at the school leaving certificate examinations and actual merit. Rahul Gandhi is not the only person in this category. That's a fact I need to place on record. In 1990, you moved to US and pursued a degree. That is true. He went to Harvard University at Massachusetts. You were unable to cope with the pressure, and despite a lot of recommendations from Senator Gordon, a close friend of your father's, you miserably failed in 7 out of 9 subjects. I'm not aware of this, therefore I neither support nor question this. I don't have any factual evidence for saying this. Senator Gordon wrote a letter claiming the reason for this was due to the stress of your father's political campaign and due to pressure from India, which Harvard ignored. You, Rahul Vinji, moved to Florida, where MEA, Minister of External Affairs, sent a letter explaining that for safety's sake and security's sake, due to a large number of Sri Lankan Tamils migrating to foreign shores, you would attend college under the pseudonym Rahul Alberto Vinci. There is grand mystery behind the Alberto Vinci of your pseudonym. This may have been correct because for security reasons, it may become necessary, might have become necessary in those days to hide one's identity to a certain extent. And if it was done, I certainly would not criticize it because a person's life needs to be protected. You obtained BA in an obscure field in 1994 with a 2.2 grade point average. During this period, you were admitted to a clinical facility for 4.5 months, ostensibly for depression. I do not know if this is true. Which may have been the result, he says. That's not what I'm saying. May have been. You can put 2 and 2 together and come to any conclusion because of drug abuse. In the United States, you got a job in Deloitte, the influence of several individuals in a company named Monitor Incorporated, where you were earning roughly $76,000 per year. You only responsibility was to arrange meetings for the interviews, etc. So that is where it ends. All right, so this is the indictment. This is a charge sheet against Rahul Gandhi. What do I think about it as a teacher? Leave alone. I have to say very clearly that I did not teach Rahul directly. He read history in college. My subject was English literature, so he was not directly my student. But I held responsibility for various clubs and societies in college besides being a member of the English faculty as well as chaplain of the college. I had a great deal to do with students who were outside the English department. More than anything else, since I've served also as the principal of the college for nearly 9 years, I think of every student who studied at any period in the history of the college as my student, because that's the kind of special affection that exists between the students and the principal of St. Stephen's. It's part of the tradition of St. Stephen's. Now, let me begin to respond to this text. The writer of this post is honest enough to state at the outset that he has dug up some uncomfortable information. My dear friends, there are 2 types of people in this world. One is those who feel very delighted and personally fulfilled when they find something with which they can make their fellow human beings uncomfortable, embarrassed, or feel awkward. There are others who feel that the emotions, sentiments, dignity, of their fellow human beings must be valued, just as they would like their personal dignity to be valued. So obviously this individual is of the first kind. That's all I would like to say about it for the time being. Then he talks about Rahul Gandhi having secured unmerited admission. Let me say one thing very bluntly to you. Seeking unmerited admission to St. Stephen's College is a virtual epidemic. Perhaps not many of you know the valorous, heroic battle I waged against all those who sought to smuggle their children and grandchildren through the back door into St. Stephen's College. Everybody would like their children, grandchildren, cousins, country cousins to be admitted to St. Stephen's College, irrespective of merit, and they'll come and offer 1,000 reasons why every rule must be broken for the sake of their children, their kith and kin. I've seen it for 9 years. So, nobody will convince me that if Rahul Gandhi was admitted without the due academic merit, say in those days 94% or 95%, he was the only person. I was the head of the Department of English for several years, and I can tell you that even behind my back, students with 60%, 61% were admitted to my department by the then principal because he couldn't resist the pressures of these mighty ones. So it's an epidemic in St. Stephen's College. Therefore, when I became the principal of St. Stephen's, I decided that I will resist all such attempts with all the strength I could muster. As a result, I was targeted, I was attacked, I was vilified, and an orchestrated campaign was mounted against me, which was sustained for 9 years, just to unseat me because I was inconvenient to the high and the mighty in Delhi. So when I see statements like this, I cannot help laughing. So the third point he makes is that, as I said, there are admitted facts in this case, that is, Rahul Gandhi was admitted on a sports quota as a person competent in the event that's a shooting. But then the fact is that today, Rahul has also mastered 2 different traditions of martial arts. That nobody talks about. All right. Then, of course, the allegation is that he got some fake certificate issued by some police officer. I've already commented on it. Madanlal Khurana, whose name is cited in this context, was certainly powerful enough to cause enough embarrassment, and I wonder why he chose to keep quiet. And Madanlal Khurana has to, unfortunately, is no more, and therefore we can't hold him to account. If not Madanlal Khurana, at least Vijay Goyal should have taken the matter to court, and he would have got a favorite verdict right away if there were irregularity, because Delhi High Court doesn't countenance such irregularities, and you can get an adverse verdict in matters like this in just one hearing. That's enough. Now, it talks about university special rules. And as though those rules were broken in favor of Rahul Gandhi for the first time in the history of university. I do not know if those rules were actually broken for Rahul Gandhi's sake. I have no idea. I have no basis for saying yes or no to it. But I can tell you one thing. Rules were always broken. During my tenure, a very big controversy erupted. That was when I refused to clear Unmukh Chand's for not being eligible to write the university examination because he did not have the prescribed percentage of attendance. And the entire country shouted at me for upholding the rules and regulations. The media was shrieking against me. The politicians were baying for my blood. The entire administration. I stood my ground, and the then Minister for Human Resource Development, Kapil Sibal, called me one day late in the night and asked me to clear him. I said I would not do it. Then he said, what's the way out? Is there a way out? I said, sure, surely there is a way out. It was I who advised him to take up the matter to the Vice Chancellor, who alone had the power to waive the attendance requirement. It was done. The Vice Chancellor cleared him, and Unmukh Chand was allowed to write the exam. So it is not a rare thing. You remember, I'm sure many of my viewers would remember the controversy regarding Jaspal Rana. Now, these distinguished sports persons get admitted to St. Stephen's College, but they then think it's below their dignity to attend classes in the college even when they can. They are not doing international sporting events 365 days of the year. They can attend classes now and then, but they will not. They think they're too big for the institution and that they can ride roughshod on any rule, regulation, and nothing will stand in the way. And the entire society will stand with them. The media will stand with them. Bureaucracy will stand with them. Everyone will stand with them. So at that time, applying rules and regulations is a very bad thing. But if that is done in favor of Rahul Gandhi, if at all it was done, I do not know if it was done, but if it is done in favor of Rahul Gandhi, it's a very bad thing. So that's how consistent we are when it comes to applying rules and regulations. Now, there is a very special reason why I am responding to it. I am coming to the heart of the matter. I wouldn't have responded to this material but for this one thing. And therefore, I crave of you, I beg of you to give particular attention to what I am going to say from now onwards. And there is a very important lesson, a very major insight in this, which it is necessary for us to be clear about. And this is really where my interest lies. My interest is not in Rahul Gandhi. My interest is not in defending or offending anyone. My interest is precisely in this huge cultural defect which is doing enormous harm to us as Indians. Unless and until we outgrow this kind of psychological block, inner impediment, we can really never progress. We are doing a great disservice to ourselves. And that is the concern with which I share the following insight. Now, my dear friends, it is as clear as noonday that all this muckraking would not have happened. All this gutter inspection would not have happened. This raking up of the past of Rahul Gandhi would not have happened. And imagine the trouble the person has taken and the research he has done to dig into every detail. He has gone all over the world to find some material with which Rahul Gandhi can be damned or embarrassed. Now, the simple thing, please pay attention to this. The simple thing is that all this is happening only because Rahul Gandhi is now excelling. In other words, for people of this kind, the distant past is far more important than the present. What a person has achieved, what a person is contributing, what a person is standing for, the kind of immense difference that person is making for the better does not matter. All that matters is something that happened in 1989, 1990, 1991, 93. Now, this is a terrible cultural problem. And this flaw is so serious that it can really defeat us in our forward march to progress. Now, in my life, in the field of education, I've seen two types of young people. One is those who study only to get a good job and to be able to lead a comfortable life thereafter. And they stop studying, learning, they stop reading, they stop thinking soon after they get a comfortable job. But I've seen a handful of people, obviously they are a tiny minority, who are lifelong learners. They may not be geniuses and superstars, brilliant in the beginning, but they are steady workers, they are plodders, they persevere, they pursue the goal in front of them, And over a long period of time, they far outstrip the early bloomers. And I'm glad to say that Rahul Gandhi is of the second type. And I have no hesitation in saying that only people in this category, people who are lifelong learners, people who feel or think that no one is too old to learn, or people who believe that learning should not stop at a particular age, for example, 20 or 21, and that it's a lifelong progress, and all of one's life must be a relentless pursuit after self-improvement. Imagine Rahul Gandhi, now 54 years of age, is learning martial arts. He is in a position to impart enthusiasm to young people. Young people are turning to him, they are connecting to him in a very, very beautiful manner. He is becoming a source of inspiration to many. And it's precisely because of this that he is being attacked. And as a teacher, I have to protest against this. Because the long and short of this effort is to institutionalize the very retrograde idea that all that matters is what a person does in the first 20 years of his life, what he does or does not do in the first 20 years of life, and what he does thereafter is of no consequence. I cannot think of an attitude or a standpoint more stupid than this, more dangerous than this. It's at once dangerous and stupid. Do you know that the great scientist Albert Einstein was a very unpromising student at the school levels? So if a person like the one who has posted this material were to think of Albert Einstein, he would damn him. If you give him a gun, he would shoot him for being such a mediocre student when he was in schools. My dear friends, this attitude is rotten. This attitude is self-defeating. This attitude destroys our potential. This attitude is truly anti-human. You cannot decide for Rahul Gandhi. I cannot decide for Rahul Gandhi or for the person who has written this post as to in which part of his life he should excel. I cannot legislate that everyone should have excelled and achieved everything before he attains 21 or 25 years of age or 30 years of age. You and I cannot legislate that someone should not be a lifelong learner and someone should not work relentlessly at improving himself and over a period of 20, 30 years become a tremendous source of encouragement, a role model, a source of inspiration to young people. I have no hesitation in saying, and this is a factual matter, that the most improved politician in India over the last 20 years is Rahul Gandhi. There's no question about it. Between the Rahul I knew 20 years ago and the Rahul I see today, there is an incredible difference. And it's beyond comparison. Show me one individual who has improved himself to the extent that Rahul Gandhi has. I'll salute him. From where have we got this idea that only what a person achieves before he attains the age of 20 or 21 matters and what he achieves thereafter does not matter? What rotten idea this is. If this idea is popularized in India, we will consign ourselves to utter backwardness in everything. In my own case, I wrote my first book. I published my first book when I was 42. So by the standard that's being now advocated, and after that I published 19 more books. So if this person's argument or theory is valid, all my books should be discredited because they were published after I turned 40. Why couldn't I have published all my books before I turned 20? And whatever a person does after he is 20 years old is of no value. Now, What a stupid idea this is. And yet, this is projected, this is published, this is circulated, goes viral as though this is the last word on a person's worth, value, or relevance. I would say to every young person, think of life as an unending pursuit of excellence. There's no vacation from learning and improving yourself. There is no limit to self-improvement. All of our life must be a relentless pursuit after perfection. And in that context, there is none better than Rahul Gandhi as your role model. I've never said this before. To the youth of India, I say, look to Rahul Gandhi. Shape yourself after him. It's not how brightly and how heroically you begin. What really matters is for how long and with what intensity of effort and what sincerity of purpose, with what unwavering focus you pursue your life's goal so that over a long period of time you fulfill your destiny. And I think in this respect, there is none who comes anywhere near Rahul Gandhi. And I think his detractors know it. That's also the reason, perhaps that's the only reason, why there is such desperation in having to discredit him, defame him, and to show him down in the eyes of the people. But all this will be of no avail. The people of India are sensible enough, mature enough, they understand what is what. They don't have to be coached, don't have to be tutored to understand X, Y, or Z. They know the grain from the chaff and the chaff from the grain, and they will make up their mind. I have complete confidence in the practical wisdom of the Indian mind. And I'm sure that the period during which the Indian public could have been influenced in a malignant way through misinformation, through slanted and malevolent propaganda, that period is over as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned. This could have succeeded maybe 20, 25 years ago. But today, he has come a very, very, very long way. And the more people try to discredit him, defame him, the more people will experience a sense of righteous indignation against those who are his detractors, because people have now tasted the goodness that he represents, and they have accepted and they have begun to respect the role model he is presenting. And this, of course, is becoming a serious problem to those who think that it's an inconvenience and maybe a danger to them. Therefore, they are under a serious need to discredit him. Well, they are doing their work, but I must do my work as a teacher. I believe, and I state this again because this is my philosophy, the philosophy of life that I pursue, and I maintain it to this day. Every day of my life is a relentless pursuit after self-improvement. And in this respect, I feel one with Rahul Gandhi. I have no hesitation in saying this. It doesn't mean that I am part of his political camp. It doesn't mean that I trust him or adore him. I'm a bhakt. Nothing of the sort. If he does something stupid, I'll be the first person to speak it out. For example, I feel that Rahul Gandhi should be spending 99% of his time in India rather than traveling abroad at this time. He is also the leader of the opposition. He is not spending enough time with the members in the India coalition. And I think that's a lacuna that he has to address. Some of the tensions that is developing within the members of the alliance should have been sorted out by him more than anybody else. He's not doing it. I think that's a failure, and I hope he corrects it. So there are issues. It's not that he's infallible and all that. No, he's a human being. He's liable to err. But the idea that a person can be completely damned and discredited based on his distant past is a stupid, malignant, indecent, uncultured, uncivilized idea. It's an idea that's an enemy to human progress and well-being. can only discourage and defeat people. It cannot build up lives. And this is an idea that has been discredited and discarded with tremendous vehemence, and it should not be tolerated even for a moment. So this is what I think about this new attempt to discredit Rahul Gandhi, and in the process discourage also young people who think of life as one long adventure of self-improvement. Jai Hind.